Hi everybody, Colette Love Hilliard here, going over Flipgrid with you. This is in case you missed the live sessions. I just wanted to go ahead and offer you this short and sweet tutorial on Flipgrid, just kind of what it is, what it looks like, what some of the uses are. And if you're interested in kind of a more in-depth look at what Flipgrid can do, I would check out Otis. Evelyn has sent us the playlists, and there are just so many different things that you can find on Otis in terms of technology, and it will go through. This one's a half an hour long on just all the different ways that you can use Flipgrid. So that's a little bit longer than I'm going to spend with you. But anyway, if you have the time, I totally recommend looking into that on Otis. But this is mine. So let's take a look. Flipgrid is a social learning platform. It allows educators and students to kind of discuss with each other via video, and it elevates the academic level of the class because we're giving students a voice. So instead of just asking them to respond in writing, which is great, this kind of taps into some of the speaking and listening objectives that often, we don't dive into enough. So let's take a look at Flipgrid on my slideshow, and then I'm actually going to go through and show you how to access all of these things that I'm talking about. So this is the website where you'll log in. If you already have a sign up, you'll log in. If you don't, you want to sign up with your Google Rittner Schools account. And once you're in there, yours won't look like this necessarily because you probably, if you're new, you don't have groups and topics or anything yet. But once you do, your screen is going to automatically show you what your groups are. It might be helpful if you name your groups by the class and the hours that you teach. This I've been using Flipgrid for a couple of years, and they actually just made some updates recently, so things are they've changed. I used to name them more like by units and things, and then topics within those units, but I'm going to change that for this coming year. But this is kind of what my grid looks like, or my groups now, whenever I log in. So within your groups, you can create topics for students to respond to, like I said, via video, and you can set time limits on those. They can actually talk up to 10 minutes. Obviously much shorter than that if you want to set some restrictions, and then students can actually shoot as many takes as they want before uploading their videos. So it's nice and safe. Sometimes you start a presentation and you're like, okay, I immediately need to redo, but it's really scary to do in front of a whole group live audience, right? So this is a little bit of a safer space to be able to actually do some performances, some discussions, formal, informal, and be comfortable with the outcome before sharing it with everyone. So it takes you to your groups, and then this, like I mentioned, you might want to create a group with your name of the class and the hour, and then once you get some topics in there, you can actually duplicate them for your other groups, your other classes and hours. Next. This is what a group view looks like. I made one for the upcoming year. So here's creative writing. We can add a co-pilot, co-teacher, for example. You can add an image. This was the default. I haven't changed that yet. And then you'll want to actually create your topics in here. That's what this looks like. So here's a topic view. You have a title here and you have the prompt, you create it. There's a whole bunch of options beneath here. I'm going to show you that whenever we actually dig into the Flipgrid so I can walk you through this process. But I just wanted you to know kind of what it looked like from here. Here's an example of one of the topics that I created with my students in the spring. They were reading an independent novel and I had them check in every week and talk about different things. This is where all of your responses will show up. I only had 2 by this time, by April 17th, but that's okay. It was wonderful to hear from them. So here where it says 1 comment, that's actually my response to the student, and I did a video. You can also do written feedback for them too. But this is also, like I said, where students can also start to respond to each other. And then here are some uses for Flipgrid in the classroom. I just found a pretty decent article that goes into depth and detail on all of these different things. So if you want to click here, you'll get a little bit more explanation, but some of these are obvious. Article of the week discussions, goal setting reflection, that's really great for SSD, and digital reading responses. We use that in ELA all the time. Reading responses anyway, but not always, a conversation. The students have really enjoyed that in the last couple of years, the way that I've shaken it up and had them do some writing and also some speaking on that. Teacher-student introduction, especially with Howdy Day coming up, that might be a really good use for Flipgrid. Exit tickets, there's no reason that they have to use the entire 10 minutes. You can set them up for a 30-second response, and then you rapidly go through them just to make sure that they're getting everything that you wanted them to. Collaboration, apparently there's something called Grid Pals. I've never used that, but you can connect with others around the world. You can have students make a video for future students, which is a really cool idea that I want to try this year. Peer reviews, feedback on paper and projects. I saw one of the math teachers actually puts up a problem and has students explain their process. They keep it hidden from other students until everyone's submitted, and then he, released it to everyone so they could see how everybody kind of, gets at the same answer in different ways, which I thought was really neat. And then language learning, obviously, just, being able to hear somebody speak fluently is a great use for Flipgrid as well. And then debate. With Flipgrid, you can't necessarily interrupt each other, right? So it gives us the opportunity to practice really civilly. And here are just some, kind of final thoughts on it. It's a really great tool for formative assessments. It keeps everything really well organized, so you can see how students have grown over time. They really do like this tool. I think it's part of the reason is because it's safe. Like I said, especially in this case where they're learning from home, hopefully they can find a quiet space in, their rooms or outside or wherever just to record this. I always have some students who don't want their faces on it, and I'm like, point it towards something cool then. I just want to hear your voice at least. And that's no problem at all. So they like it actually. In the spring, I ended up hearing from some of my really, really extra quiet students more often than I did even in the classroom. So it's a really awesome tool. If you have any other questions about it, obviously feel free to contact me. But I'm going to just, like I said, run through these things that I just discussed on the slideshow in the actual grid so that you can see that as well. This is already 8 minutes long. Oh my gosh, I thought it would be like 5 total. Bear with me. All right, educator login, since I already have sign up, I'm just going to go ahead and click that, and this brings me to my groups that I mentioned. So some are older. This is the new one that I just made, so I'll click on it. It's for creative writing, upcoming. Looks just like that slide I showed you, right? I don't have any topics yet, but if I want to add one, I click on add topic. And then, one of our first assignments is the You Don't Know My Story monologues. So you don't know my story title. I'll give them a prompt here. And here's what I wanted to show you. So you can set their recording time anywhere down from 15 seconds all the way up to 10 minutes. There's closed caption options, video moderation. Like I said, that math teacher keeps his hidden until all students have had an opportunity to submit before releasing it to everyone. So that's what you can do. Otherwise, if you don't select that, their videos will pop up as they create them. You can add all of this cool media to your topic posts, etc. Oh, there it is, etc. There's the more options button. Okay, so the other things you can do are actually have attachments here for them, links, titles, what else? Topic status. I always keep it active. You can have it archive itself after a while if you'd like, but I just keep them all open all the time. Notifications, I'm a little extra. Every time somebody adds a new video, I'd like to be notified, but you could change that if you wanted. I always allow my students to download and share their videos if they'd like. And then here are some other features. They are able to take a selfie at the end, which, they can't get enough of, and there's like stickers and all kinds of things they can add, which is super great. Video editing is helpful, so they can rearrange and trim things that they might want to make a little bit different. They can attach links too if you keep this selected. Video comments, you have to enable that if you want them to be able to reply to each other via video. Video counts, view counts, they love to see how many people have watched their videos. This is automatically disabled, and I usually leave that off as well. So they could add likes if you want them to, but I usually leave that off. And then allow students to add sticky notes while they're recording. I've never had anybody do that, but I leave it enabled anyway. Custom feedback, you can, you can get really in-depth and detailed by adding rubrics and things to your feedback. Like I said before too, I usually reply in a video, but you can also do it in writing as well. Okay, so that's what the topics look like. And I'll go back to one that's already been completed. Author check-ins, like what I showed you before. This is where they live. This was Ava's. If you click on it, it'll start to play automatically. And then you'll see down below, I replied to her. And honestly, I like it better on my phone. I have the app and it's really great. It's really handy. I usually did most of my recordings and replied to them using the app, and they almost always are using their phones too. But anyway, that's just kind of what it looks like. And yeah, I think that's all I showed you, right? Yeah, that's really all there is. There are groups and there are topics within those groups. It's nice, not it's something that I think maybe eventually added to like Google Classroom or something like that, but for now it's not. And so it's a nice alternative instead of them having to do written responses all the time to be able to do a video response. So Discovery, these are a bunch of Flipgrids, I believe, that are already, it's curated and made by others who are willing to share their stuff. Saw some really cool social justice ones on here earlier. I don't know about activity mixtapes or shorts yet, but like I said, Grid Pals is a way for you to connect with others who already have Flipgrids and things like that. So kind of neat. There's a lot for me still to explore. I am by no means an expert, but I just wanted to help out, in any way that I can, and we can actually learn together if you would like. So please reach out. Let me know how else I can help you with Flipgrid. And thank you so much for watching.